Why is it that everybody with an opinion feels like a toxic person? Anybody on the left and anybody on the right. Why is everyone a dick?
Welcome to the show, Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams!
I constantly find myself listening to people and going, yeah, I think I agree with that, but you're a dick. You get pilloried and attacked for not picking a side as well.
Yeah, well, you can't win, can you?
You know you can't win. You know, hello, good morning, how dare you? Comment section, what's a comment section? Oh, whoa, I am the worst person in the world.
When people shout things at me online, have you been able to get that under control at all?
You can't fight the internet.
What happened with Charlie Kirk?
20 minutes later, it's a link from a text that somebody sends to me, and you see it happen. And his kids, I got 4 kids.
But they were there.
President Trump gets shot, grazes his ear. 2 weeks later, new news cycle. We've shifted. Something this huge has such a deep impact on you as a human in 5 minutes. You're somewhere else. I'm a chimp and reactionary, and I do things that I shouldn't in a moment of red hot anger. Monkey in a musical, didn't take that, fell out with Gary Barlow, I did drugs, I'm vulnerable and I'm sensitive and I'm depressed and I'm anxious. We've covered me. The existential crisis of reaching the top of the mountain and realizing that it doesn't fix you, and it didn't. And then at some point they'll go, ding, ding, ding. I see them way. Just like, and the whole of the restaurant is looking at you, and as an anxious person, that makes you have anxiety. It's like a chef turning up at a restaurant and then the chef that's there coming out with a shitter version of what you do.
I know it's annoying when creators ask you to subscribe, but since I started, the channel's grown 10 times faster. If you don't sub, YouTube probably won't show you the next episode. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Hit subscribe. Right. Welcome to the show, Robbie Williams.
It's good to be here, mate.
This is nice. We've been like, are we mates?
Yeah, we're mates.
You have to say yes to that though, don't you?
No, but I like you. I think you're a kind, decent human being, and I think that you're very talented, and I think that you're interesting and interested.
We'll have to cut this bit, mate. It's too nice about me.
No, I also think that, you know, you're trying to find out answers for yourself, and you're trying to find out answers for the planet, and you know, it's an interesting thing for me to do, because I'm just sat on the sidelines trying to make up my mind what I think and what I feel, and I'm still no closer to my own truth. But you know, I watch your channel, and I'm on YouTube all the time. You know, that's where I am.
Do you have a fake account so people don't sort of see you in the chat?
I don't jump into the chats. I saw you were talking about burner accounts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that about?
Mike Graham. It was Mike Graham.
Mike Graham was saying James O'Brien.
James O'Brien.
Which we can't prove. That's Mike's opinion.
It's like it's a proper stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you must have, I mean, if you want, there must be things you want to do, not as Robbie Williams.
Oh, yeah. I'm not in any of those accounts anyway. I don't have the passwords for all the official stuff because I'm a chimp and reactionary, and I do things that I shouldn't in a moment of red hot anger or passion.
Yeah.
And I know that about myself, and it's best that I don't. Because all of those things that I've wanted to say and all of those things that I've wanted to do, I would then regret 24 hours later, 48 hours later. So I don't have my passwords.
That's a book, isn't it? Something about the chimps, the 2 chimps or something, apart from just your movie as well.
Right, it's like the chimp paradox.
Something like that,
yeah.
We should read that.
I would read that if I read. I don't read.
How are you sleeping?
Really, really badly. really, really badly. Which is, I should say to the viewers at home, if I'm talking slowly in a monotone way and not making much sense. So, was in Miami. Well, I'm on tour. I've been on tour since May, beginning of May. And then we're in Budapest right now, which is lovely to see you in Budapest.
Yeah, Barcelona last time.
Yeah, Barcelona. Yeah. You go to some fancy places.
Yeah.
And so then I flew from Miami to Kazakhstan like 8 days ago or something. And basically I haven't slept. It's been today I got to sleep at 10 o'clock in the morning. And yesterday was 12 o'clock in the morning. The day before was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And so it's been. And then I have shows at 8 o'clock. So you can imagine the show's a big do with lots of, giving it the big one. And if you've only had 3 or 4 hours sleep most nights, it's very difficult to give it the big one on 4 hours sleep. So, and it's that sort of, and I've got a very complicated inner life. I've got a very complicated inner monologue. So if you can imagine trying to get to sleep from 2 o'clock until 12 and what the inner monologue does, it's maddening at the moment. But this is just a phase. It's not normally this bad. I normally go to sleep at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning.
This is nuts. So take me through it then. Okay, so your inner monologue.
Yeah.
Head hits the pillow. Your wife's next to you?
The wife is next to me. Yeah. But on tour, she's mom and she's looking after 4 kids and I'm on tour. So whilst I'm on tour, it's just me and YouTube and my thoughts.
Oh God. See, this is why I think I said to you, you got to get into Kindle or any books and things, because even if you don't like reading, it's so boring then. You don't think about your other things. You're just like, I need to finish this page. And then you nod off.
Wow. I would do, but my ADHD is so huge that it's like going to the gym for me to read something. And I can do autobiographies on tape, but I can't do anything else. Like people bring me books and I'm like, I'd really like to read that if I was somebody that could actually read.
Yeah, I think I gave you my book.
Yeah. And Sean gave me his book too. And I'm like, it's very kind of you, but there's no way this one's going to get done. And I swear, I wonder if it's a result of drugs. It's like, I wonder how much drugs has actually, I'm guessing it's the light from screens.
Yes.
I think that's doing a lot.
Well, you were talking about this recently, I think with ITV, the screens, the phones, the kids having the screens and the phones. Yeah,
that hit a nerve, I think. That went semi-viral. That
every parent in the country is going, well, yeah, what do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?
I think that no matter what you say, anything that goes sort of viral like that, people go, yeah, what about the whatabouts? Everybody, I can't believe he said that when I haven't got a thing and he's got a thing. And, I think the answer is, you can have a brick phone that's a walkie-talkie. I think that's the answer. But, I was reading, somebody was commenting about it. I think it's disgusting what he's saying. What these kids need to learn about these things before they get out there in the wide open world, and then they'd be too shocking for them if they don't have a phone. It'd be interesting vodka and gin night at your house, wouldn't it, with the kids? Marijuana and ecstasy night with mum. Well, you better learn these things because they're out there and I don't want your head to explode.
Yeah. Well, why you read? This is a comment on Instagram, is it?
Yeah.
Why you can't be reading those?
I'm a chimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a chimp.
And I don't read mine. I do every now and then one pops up and it ruins my day.
Yeah. Well, see, what's happened to me is I've managed to curate a really safe space on the internet in my Instagram. And I share how I'm feeling and, my experience, strength, and my hope, and my vulnerabilities. And in kind, the comment section have paid me back by going, yeah, I know it's unusual, but it's like this safe space that's cultivated where baddies don't turn up. But baddies do turn up when there is a viral moment. Sure. You know, the strangers come. But I write about, and I haven't for a bit because we've been on tour, but I write an awful lot on there. And it's very interesting. Somebody was interviewing me a few weeks ago saying, well, you've got to expect, you know, that was going to cause a da-da-da-da. It's like, mate, you wouldn't believe how much stuff I write and say that could possibly be, you know, dissected and whatever, that would have been in 2006 or 2002. I don't know which one of those things that I say is going to go mainstream or whatever. Anyway, the reason for me to say that was that, yeah, there is... I like going, I feel this way. And then I like reading people going, oh yeah, I recognize myself in that. And I don't want to spoil this safe space that we've created. So yeah, when it comes to comments, let me tell you the story. It's funny. So ages and ages and ages and ages ago, I was reading an article about me. I don't read articles about me anymore, and I haven't for a very long time. And it was in the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail was kind of newish online. And then I was like, what's the comment section? What's the comment section? Oh, whoa, I am the worst person in the world. Oh my God, I could do something about this. I'm like, I know what I'll do. Let's think of somebody that's famous that you know, that's the salt of the earth, and then go read an article about them. And if there's nastiness underneath that, then it's just people, you know. Ant and Dec, they're the salt of the earth. They're my mates. I love them to bits, and there's no way anybody can, wow, Ant and Dec. Yeah. So I'll go this article about Ant and Dec, and 2 comments down, it says, I hate these two as nearly as much as I hate that fat bastard Robbie Williams.
Oh no!
Yeah.
By the way, you're slim. You look svelte. You look great.
Thank you. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
In these, you know, interviews, are you hyper aware right now in this moment?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And are you sort of like moving this over there to da-da-da?
Yeah.
It's like, so there has to be like 3 or 4 yous while you're doing this job?
I love talking to you because most people, they don't ask questions back.
Right.
And when I first met you, we did an interview years ago, and I couldn't believe you were asking questions in a way that most people, they don't.
Right.
And you're really interested. And that's why one of the reasons you're very successful, I think. You're able to, I think that's happening to you, isn't it? You're on stage and you're thinking, I saw you recently again at Bath, and you were looking at this section of the audience, that section. You knew who was on board with you and who was like, and you had to lift them up. It was incredible to watch. And I suppose what I'm doing right now is a version of that. Yeah. But it's difficult because you're a big star in that sense. So there's a slight thing at the back of my head, sort of stopping the thoughts going as fast as they usually do. Right.
Yeah. I mean, is it difficult for you to really laugh in this moment too? Because you are, I'm not suggesting that, you know, you crack a joke, I crack a joke, and we both go, ha, ha, ha. I'm just saying that what I notice is when I'm in your role, I'm ultra focused, and it's very difficult to be truly human whilst you're being that ultra focused.
That's definitely true. And I'll give you an example just from my perspective right now. The room is echoier than it would usually be when I do this.
Right, okay.
Which means I'm not speaking as loudly. And so I'm hoping that it all sounds right and sounds good, and I'm still able to convey my emotions in a way that doesn't spoil the microphone.
Is it giving you anxiety?
A very slight amount, yeah.
But if you were in your normal setup, would you be having anxiety about something else anyway?
Quite typically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. What led you to that? Because I think you were saying about Ant and Dec and the fat bastard, horrible.
Yeah. No, well, no. And then I completely jumped into asking you that question about how your brain facilitates the ability for you to be able to do this. What is the process? And is it exhausting? Is it to be able to concentrate for that long?
Well, yeah, we do typically at the moment, because of where I live, which is not near my studio, we do 3 or 4 in a day typically.
Whoa.
And when it is a day where you've got like Liz Truss has come in and Douglas Murray's come in and they've brought their security teams and everything's a whole thing, that gets too much. And at the end of the day, you know, you've got your normal life. You've got my wife wants this, my mum wants that, but that's exactly what you're going through on tour.
Do you think? Sorry, do you think that as your channel becomes and as you become more successful, the days of doing 4 in a day will be less and less and less?
We're moving to London, and then it'll be a case of, right, who have we got tomorrow? One person, go in, maybe do a 2-hour episode, go in, get out of there.
Actually, this is interesting because you know, nobody does ask you questions, and you haven't done the Andrew Gold podcast about yourself.
No.
So what is we'll get to me. I was a monkey in a musical. I was in Take That. Fell out with Gary Barlow. I did drugs. I'm vulnerable and I'm sensitive and I'm depressed and I'm anxious. We've covered me. So so what is happening with your channel?
It's doing well. It's doing very well. It's very hard to know what's happening with it, except that I started it. It's called Heretics 2 years ago, and I wanted to interview lots of interesting, difficult, or whatever kinds of people. The hard part probably has been that once you start having people who are seen as controversial, it's very difficult to then get people who don't want to be seen as controversial. So you end up in a bit of a pigeonhole. But then people like you come on and you give us the time of day, which is very nice of you. And then others who are maybe not in that controversial realm will also come on, and then you can mix it up a little bit more. Yeah.
I mean, it's a very difficult situation for you to be in. And it's very difficult for a person like me to be in too, because, you know, I'm on because I like you. You know,
I appreciate that.
I mean, I am apolitical.
And you really are. Like, I've nudged you on the phone. We've had these video calls, and I'm like, what do you think of that? And no matter what I ask you, like, well, I get that side. I get that side.
Yeah, but you know, I just think that there is the toxicity of inflammation in the information that we are receiving on a day-to-day basis with vested interests and delusions and angers and clickbaits, and people trying to forge careers for themselves, etc., 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 leaves you being even more confused than you were before you started looking into anything.
Yeah.
And that's where I sit. That's where I sit and have to sit. And then you get pilloried and attacked for not picking a side as well.
Yeah, well, you can't win, can you?
You know you can't win. You can't win.
But isn't there a point then for you? And I presume, have you done a lot of therapy over the years?
Yeah.
I've done a fair bit myself.
Right.
And I think we've spoken about this actually, but for me, the biggest thing was acceptance, like accepting that my wife isn't always going to do the thing I want her to do. My mum isn't going to do that. My dad isn't, those things. And that includes, I suppose, when people shout things at me online. Have you been able to get that under control at all?
No, it's happening, but way slower than it should or could. The best move in that game is to not play. But I'm addicted to, I suppose, the inflammation. I'm addicted to, maybe I'm addicted to justice. Maybe I'm addicted to feeling wronged. Maybe I need something to complain about. I just know that I'm actually wiser than my actions.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm wiser, so I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there looking these things up at these things, because I know that you can't fight the internet.
I've tried as well. You can't, Ken.
You can't
well, especially you, because you're like on a different level in terms of fame and stuff. If you start messaging back, listen, mate, you're wrong about that. That in itself becomes a story.
Yeah, exactly. And what you say then gets misrepresented from a place of something that was misrepresented anyway.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm wiser than the chimp, but the chimp still drives the car an awful lot of the time. And but it's way better than it used to be. And also there's something about that. Haters or misanthropes, the misguided, that has actually created this life for me, because, you know, people have said you can't, you mustn't, and you won't. I have, I shall, and I did.
That's a really interesting point, because I wanted to run this line by you. It's a famous old line, but dopamine is not about the pursuit of happiness. It is about the happiness of pursuit.
Dopamine is not about the pursuit of happiness. It's the happiness of the pursuit. I reckon what I did is could that be wrapped up in purpose as well? Could that talk to purpose?
The pursuit or the purpose or whatever it is. It's the problem is you got everything you wanted when you were very young. And so you said you were almost addicted to the bad criticism and things, because maybe it takes you back down so that you have to rise again, because you got nowhere to. Where do you rise to?
Maybe, but the thing that I jumped to with that is that in 2006, when there's been like a few perfect storms for bad mental health in my life. Some created by me, some created by outside forces. But in 2006, I was just like at the top of the pile, sold the most tickets for a tour in a day, got the biggest record contract in the history of music, which is ridiculous.
Rich beyond my wildest dreams.
Rich beyond my wildest dreams, man. And then they have that thing that a lot of people have. I did. The existential crisis of reaching the top of the mountain and realizing that it doesn't fix you, and it didn't. And then I retired because there was a lot of outside stuff happening with press stuff, family stuff, friends stuff. Whoa! So I retired. And then in 2006, and then I sat on the sofa and I got a cashmere kaftan from Morocco and grew a beard because I'd seen Paul McCartney do it when he left the Beatles, and he looked really cool, and I just looked like a serial killer. And I ate Krispy Kremes, Honey Dijon, kettle chips. I got really fat and watched all the Housewives of Everywhere franchise and searched for UFOs from my bedroom window. And what I realized after 3 years in this retirement was that I have no purpose. And then my brain started to turn to Swiss cheese. And I realized at a moment of, I understand why people die when they retire now. Okay, we need to go back. But my raison d'etre became then, I need to go back and figure out how to have this be the gift that it's supposed to be. I need to go back and figure out how to work within this without it collapsing me on some level. And so the dopamine thing, instead of there now being a destination, it's about the purpose and it's about the journey. And I don't mean to be, I am namaste every now and again. Namaste. It's about the purpose and it's about the journey. Tell me the dopamine thing, and I'll see if I can understand why I jumped to there in my...
Dopamine is not about the pursuit of happiness. It is about the happiness of pursuit. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm in the happiness of pursuit.
Yeah. Isn't that mad though? Because everybody thinks it's the other way. They think it's, I've got to do the things to get happy. And it's like, no, the happiness comes from doing the things.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
Yeah, but I've got so many fingers and so many pies, given me so much to pursue, because my ambition and my want and my need and my desire has not abated. But the oxygen that I once had in my career, where I couldn't miss every time I went to the table, has been taken away from me just because I'm an older pop star now. You know, it's like I was in the pocket. The rise was a long time, 1990 till, say, 2010. And
is it different now?
Well, it's only different as it's different for everybody else that has found themselves having, you know, lucky enough to have my kind of career. You know, but it's not, I don't wander into commercial radio spaces now and they go, okay, let's play I was the most played artist for 10 years in a row. And, you know, thank you. I had a nice run, but I'm in a different place now. I'm just in a different place. And it's not over. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's like I still want to attack. I still want to get out there. I still want to create. I still want to have what I create mean something to a lot of people. But what I'm saying is, where does all of that naked ambition and drive go? Okay, well, it goes into purpose. It goes into creating. So I've got 3 art exhibitions right now. Got my own clothing company.
The movie, the Chimp movie.
Chimp movie, but I also want to open a university of entertainment.
Ooh. Well, that's what you do pretty much better than anyone, entertainment.
Well, I did notice that nobody else is sort of going, you know, nobody else is, like, I grew up, I'm a vaudevillian, that's what I am. And when I say this, I say this word and then people go, oh, you're not. And it's like, I don't think it's a bad word. I am cabaret. You know, that is what I am. And I spent all of my youth watching my dad do cabaret and watching all of the acts that he would bring off and on stage, and how talented and hardworking they are, and how genuinely funny the funny acts were, and how genuinely amazing the vocalists were, you know. So and that's, you know, because I arrived in 1995 after Take That, and I went, be Oasis, I want to be Radiohead. And then when I opened my mouth and my mind, I came out instead. And you know, I'm not cool. And you go, okay, so what am I? Oh, I'm all of these people that I loved. Tommy Cooper.
Yeah.
2 Ronnies.
Yeah.
Morecambe and Wise.
They're all before my time, but I know I watched them.
So, but the way they made me feel is how I want to make people feel. Safe in their living rooms at 8:30 or 7:30 on a Saturday and Friday evening. And like, why don't I go for that instead? Because I'm far more capable of doing that than I am at writing Creep or No Surprises.
Or Karma Police, as you said.
Or Karma Police.
You wanted to write Karma Police, but wrote Karma Chameleon.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with Karma Chameleon either.
No.
It's a brilliant song. I saw that it got the ire of Boy George.
Did it?
Yeah, yeah. He was like... maybe you would have had a hit in America if you'd have. And it's like, Boy George, I didn't.
You were being self-deprecating.
I was being self-deprecating, but I think that I could understand why he would choose to feel as though that was a diss.
It wasn't a diss. You were just saying it's pop. And then there's Karma Radiohead is sort of a complex alternative thing, and you wanted that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the early songs were not. I think could have been on an Oasis album.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Sort of Lazy Days. Those
the first album. Yeah. Let me ask you: when you were growing up, did you see a lot of, you know, British cultural youth movements or worldwide cultural youth movements and go, oh, I'm that. Oh, I'm also that. Or were you? Well, what were you when you were at school?
Yeah, just sort of nothing really. I liked sort of, I suppose I felt like people would often say, oh, you're like a young Hugh Grant. I quite liked that. Yeah, he's shorter than me though. But I was really into your music and Oasis and Arctic Monkeys. That was my era, and Radiohead, and it was all the same era. Yeah, and a lot of my mates as well, guys, really nice, cool. You met my mate Tom in Barcelona.
Yeah,
we all went to your gig and all that, and yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is the thing that I'm asking when I realised that in your youth there wasn't as many movements as there was in my youth.
Okay,
when I was 0 to 10, it was like Teddy Boys, Mods, Greasers, Metalheads, and then there was B-Boys. None of these things.
I know of like the Mods and
and then there was punks, and then there was skinheads, and then there was all of these things, and then there was the B-Boys, and then there was ravers, and then there was goths, and then there was whatever people that were into the Smiths were, and
emo,
and
sort of early emo.
Actually, this goes back to what I was saying before. Yeah, emo. It goes back to what I was saying before. I never chose a side, but I was all of these people. That's how it felt. And that musically, getting back to, 1996 was, oh, I want a Teddy Boy outfit. Oh, I want a Parker. Oh, I want to shave all my hair off. Oh, I want to stand in a B-boy stance and do a windmill, but I'm too fat to do a windmill. I was all of these people. So when it arrived, when that sort of euphoria of guitar music making its re-entrance back into the charts in 1994, 95, 96, I'm like, I'm also this. This is what I'm also. And yeah, I loved Oasis. And I loved Pulp, and I loved Supergrass, and I loved Radiohead. And I was like, I don't want to be Gary Barlow's backing dancer. I want to sing like Tom York and strut around like Liam Gallagher. So I shook my fist at it and attempted it. And on that album, there's Let Me Entertain You and Angels, but there is, like you say, Lazy Days, South of the Border, song Life Through a Lens. And yeah, fortunately for me, it worked.
It's a great album.
Thank you.
You've said that you didn't expect, I think you didn't expect Angels to be the hit it was, or that you don't know what it is that makes it special.
No, how can anybody expect something like that to have, that you've had a hand in creating, have the life that it's having or had? You couldn't possibly. I knew that we'd got something very special, but
how does it work? Why can't you write an Angels Tomorrow? Why can't Paul McCartney write Let It Be again, another Let It Be?
Well, he did many, 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 many times in ways, but that's that thing about the magic being in the room and how long the magic stays with you if you're lucky enough to have it. But yeah, I mean, who is your go-to band?
Now, maybe The National. Do you like them? Do you know them?
Yeah, I do know The National.
And it's funny because you've said recently you like having a lower voice now, and he's got that real low voice as well.
With The National, when was the last album that came out?
About the last year or so.
Okay. And did that album sound as good as their first and second album?
The first wasn't that good, but the latest one didn't sound as good as the sort of 2, 3, and 4 and 5, no. To me.
It's very interesting about why the magic is there and when the magic leaves, and who gets the magic for the longest,
But it does happen to everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Like, look for Noel Gallagher, right? 3-year, very, very, very hot streak, like the best on the planet in that moment. And, you know, B-sides that everybody else would want one of those B-sides for themselves for the rest of their lives to tour on the end of it. And he just did. He shat them. It was just, every time he sat down, it was just gold, 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 gold. And then you can see that, you know, for whatever reason, the third album was still really fucking impressive. I'd love that. But then, it, you know, with respect, because he's still an amazing songwriter, magic gone. You know, it's very, very... And like, when did the magic, that ethereal quality, when did that happen for Paul McCartney? He seemed to get it for, you know, the longest time. And yeah, I don't think anybody gets to stay in the pocket forever.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing for non-musicians like me. I can play a bit of guitar. I don't know how to write a song though. So I don't understand.
Have you tried?
Years ago when I was 18, because trying to impress women.
But
it never did. I was just that twat with a guitar, you know?
How many songs did you write?
Probably 1 or 2, but they must be so humiliating to look back on now.
Really?
I think so. I didn't have...
Do they exist anywhere?
No. Right. One day, if we're somewhere, I'll get a guitar and try and think of something.
Okay.
I'll write a song for you.
Okay. It'll
be the worst thing you've ever heard, because I never had the magic. I mean, very few people have that magic. But Angels, that piano comes in and it's almost like, you know, it's going to be a classic.
We do now.
Yeah.
We didn't then. You know, I'd had 4 singles released. I'd had 4 singles released and to lesser success, every single one. I think a memo had gone around EMI that we're going to drop Robbie Williams. There was definitely talks. And then Angels was the sort of Hail Mary attempt. The album had come out and it had sold 33,000 copies in 8 weeks, which wasn't good enough considering the amount of money they were putting behind me to make me a thing. And Angels came out and just changed absolutely everything.
I love you talked about your Instagram and the stuff you put on there sometimes. My favorite bits that you put up are when you talk about fame, because I think we're all interested. We're going, what is it like? And you tell these stories and they're sort of quite funny often. They're not like horribly sad or anything, but a bit cringy, and somebody starts playing Feel or whatever in the restaurant. How did that feel when someone was playing that? I think they were playing Feel and you were in the restaurant?
Oh, yeah. So whenever there's a piano player in a bar or restaurant or wherever I am, they invariably play one of my songs eventually. But the thing is about me is I have anxiety, and I am, the nearest term we can call it is agoraphobic. I'm not a proper agoraphobe because I'm not terrified of outside. I just don't want to go outside. There's things, and you know, I either have low-level anxiety or high-level anxiety. I never have no anxiety. So wherever I am, I'm an anxious person. And I want to be small and not recognized, because interactions with strangers makes my anxiety peak. And because I'm a face, strangers want interaction with me, lots of them on a daily basis. But the human aspect from over here is, and I must say, I'm so fucking grateful for my job and having an audience. This is just the human aspect of what happens when strangers want. I get scared. I get scared, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know, it's not me going, fuck off. You know, it's just me going, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. And then, so you go to a restaurant, you go to a bar, and I walk in and I see a piano player and I'm like, and then So you walk in and you sit down and you try to be as small as you can be. And then at some point they'll go, ding, ding, ding. I see them way. Just like, and it just like, it signals to the restaurant that have invariably noticed that you've turned up, that there's a wall that's been now broken where it's like, and the whole of the restaurant is looking at you. And as an anxious person, that makes me have anxiety.
I think that would make even non-anxious people have anxiety. That's I mean, people will be listening to that going with their heart fluttering. I think that's almost like a horror film. Everyone in the restaurant suddenly turns and smiles at you.
Yeah, but also, you know, it's like a chef turning up at a restaurant and then the chef that's there coming out with a shitter version of what you do. Like a terrible version of your most famous burger. And you're like, it resembles a burger, but that's not my burger.
Here you go, Gordon Ramsay. This is your signature.
Yeah, and let me just say, they're paying, they think, and they are in their mind paying respect. God bless them.
Yeah.
But actually, the energy that creates, you know. And these are all very odd and niche little problems for a human to have. You know, I know that, you know, because what happens is I am compelled to explain this human condition and what happens. And I understand that I am in rarefied air and I'm incredibly lucky, beyond lucky. I'm like one of the most luckiest people on the planet. I get it. But I think that when I explain the malady of my brain and the complicated inner life, I think people think that I'm moaning. And I'm not. I'm just explaining a human thing that happens. And this is my particular human thing that happens to me. Do you find it interesting? Do you not? Thank you for allowing me to share. Oh, you don't want me to share, but you're like quite vocal about not having, you're quite angry about me sharing for some reason. And, but I'm compelled, and I'm compelled to understand myself because it's a jungle up there.
Do you know that Gervais joke about guitar lessons?
Yes.
The internet is like, you've put ads out for a guitar lesson, and the internet is basically going, I don't want fucking guitar lessons, mate. It's like, well, why did you have to? You know, that's what they're doing to you. You said a thing, you put your guitar lessons up there.
Yes.
Why?
Fuck your guitar lessons.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Just chill.
Just chill. Yeah.
Gosh.
But I was thinking about this the other night when, about how everything is at your fingertips now, and it's so accessible to tell the world your ire or how any particular moment of the day with any particular thing that people may have or may have not have said, you can now go, I completely disagree with hello, good morning. You know, hello, good morning. How dare you? I didn't want, yeah, exactly. And then I remember we were on Take That. We're on a very, very early TV program on a Saturday, Michaela Strachan. And we had this food fight and it was loads of fun. You know, it was like loads of fun. And I don't know if we were signed, but then I remember later that afternoon, our manager telling us that there'd been phone calls complaining about food waste. Oh. And like, this is 1991 or 1991. And I remember thinking, and I remember that affecting me, like, oh, we've upset somebody. But now that person is the most vocal person on the planet.
What?
That person that's allowed, that can go. That
I thought you were going to say that turned out to be
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, Starmer was livid.
He was fucking livid.
Food waste.
Yeah. No, so that person is now in charge of the conversation.
Yeah,
for the rest of the Western world. Woo!
Well, you know what? I mean, when you came in it, we said just before that we couldn't do this because it's the day after what happened with Charlie Kirk. I don't know when this is going to go out. It might be weeks or months later. But is that? I mean, what is that? That's somebody who does a thing like that. We don't know who it was yet.
I think that what is also interesting about the modern age that we live in, we'd have read the headline in 1989, 1991, and we'd have gone, "Whoa, that's awful. Wow, did you hear about the thing?" Now in 2005, 5 minutes after it happened.
2025.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm still
living then.
Still in my imperial moment in my career. Now we live in a moment where 30 seconds later, the actual event is put up on the internet. 15 minutes later, it's all the way around the world. 20 minutes later, it's a link from a text that somebody sends to me. And you see it happen. I think in these sort of moments, you're just confused. You're just confused. What is this? And, you become self. What does this mean for me? What am I feeling about this moment? What does this make the world? What is happening to the world? Oh, my Lord. And then you forget about it.
Yeah.
And then the cycle moves on. We've seen this. We've seen this so many times. Like one of the biggest moments of living memory. President Trump gets shot, grazes his ear. 2 weeks later, new news cycle. We've shifted, we've moved, we've gone on.
That said, if he'd died, maybe it would have stayed.
Yeah, but still, but still in living memory, that moment and the who and the what and the wheres and the whys now resides in distant history. And it's not. It's 2 seconds ago. And it's the same, unfortunately, with this. And I'm not, it's like I'm not saying I'm a fan of anybody's work or I prescribe to the thinking of the right or the thinking of the left or the centrists or the whatever. I'm just saying that something this huge has such a deep impact on you as a human when you are consuming it. And then in 5 minutes, you're somewhere else, thinking about something else, doing something else. It's a weird aspect about human nature. Well, we can't take all of those things on, though, I suppose, can we? We can't have everything that is being beamed into our psyche 24 hours a day. Some people do and can and will and base their whole personality and life reacting to it. And some people make money from that. Some people remain inflamed.
There are some people who seem to want to be the first to announce, he's dead and those kinds of things. And often when these things come out in social media, as you say, it's 20 minutes after the thing's happened. So I try to go, okay, let's just wait a couple of days and see, let the fog subside.
This is an interesting thing that I think I've talked to you on the phone about. In my education to try and find out what I think about everything. Why is it that anybody on the left and anybody on the right that's got anything to say about anything and a point of view that may or may not be common sense, that may or may not be empathic and compassionate and honest? Why is everyone a dick?
I don't know what it is.
Because it's like anybody that is forthright about their opinion. Maybe it's in the energy of being forthright with your opinion, but I'm like, I constantly find myself listening to people and going, yeah, I think I agree with that, but you're a dick.
Well, he was a bit different though, wasn't it? Because I didn't watch
I'm
much
not
of his
talking
stuff.
about Charlie Kirk when I say that.
No.
It's like I'd like to separate that. I'm not calling Charlie Kirk a dick.
No, I think you're calling the guy who shot him a dick.
No.
Oh, no.
Forget that bit of our conversation.
Yeah.
My ADHD just jumped to a place where I'm now thinking about the left and the right. God bless Charlie Kirk. God bless Charlie Kirk and his family and his kids. I got 4 kids.
But they were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Please allow me to, please allow me to put that to the side and ask you that question.
Go on.
About these culture wars.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that everybody with an opinion feels like a toxic person?
The reason I think that is, I think there's two reasons from our evolutionary biology. One is that we evolved needing status, and there are 3 ways to get status. This is Will Storr's theory. He wrote a book about it, The Status Game. The best way to do that is through success. You've done that. You don't need to be a dick to get status or anything like that. You got status. You got the biggest status in the world. You got it. And that's a really healthy way to do it. Success. Not everybody can have success. So there's 2 other ways. One is dominance, being a bully. You know, the chimps, you get to the top by being physical and dominant. Some people can't be physical and dominant because they're just not. And they do it through virtue. They show like, hey, look how I got everybody dinner or whatever, you know, and then you get given more shelter and more food in the evolutionary thing. So everybody's like, even when they don't realize they're doing it, they're all vying for the top status. And if they're not successful, they're being dominant or they're showing, look how good I am. And those people are clashing with one another. That's sort of the most simple way I can think of it.
Isn't it just as simple that anger and or self-righteousness just doesn't look good on anybody, even if they're right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the internet can shout at me and give me countless amounts of people that go, well, what about? Yeah, well, I haven't got Wikipedia or Google in my brain, but it just strikes me that when I hear and see people that have an opinion about anything, it feels slightly toxic, left, right, or wherever.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I agree with you. I think that humility is something that is maybe a luxury. Being humble, you can do that when your life's going well. And I wonder if most people listening will relate to that, when they might remember a time when they weren't doing well and then they weren't able to be happy for other people so much and they got into arguments easier. Often it's if it's not going well in their own lives, I think. And then it's just tribal, isn't it? Tribes, you know, and you go, I'm in this tribe, which is the left or the right, and I'm in this other tribe. And all those.
But I don't think, you know, like things are going well for me, but I still get jealous. And now I'm jumping to another conversation, you know, it's like I'm not relating it to what I've just said, but that's just triggered that, you know, it's like I still get.
Who do you get jealous of?
Well, you know, there was the other night, my wife and my daughter went to see Lady Gaga, right? And they came back and they both walked through the door and they went, Daddy, oh my God. And something in me just went, and they were like, and then she, and then she, and then she, and then she. And I was like, and then my daughter went, Daddy, are you feeling self-conscious? And I went, I'm not self-conscious, I'm jealous. You know, I say this to purge myself and to also try and understand what is that? What is that about me? Because you said when things are going right in people's lives, things are going right in my life. But in that instant, there was something primal that said, you know, somebody else is taking the leg of the wildebeest. And now you can't feed.
Imagine though, if your life is going really not well, and then you heard about Lady Gaga, wouldn't that be more intense, that jealousy?
Maybe. I don't know. But that is something that has been on my plate just recently to figure out about me, because I notice it and I don't like that aspect of me. The other aspect of me that is my future workings is attachment and desire and need and want. It also gives me purpose, makes me happy. But there is also a deficit in my life, a hole in my life, when I want and need something so bad to facilitate me existing and being a person on the planet of, I don't know. But I know like I say, I know my next learning is to, do you know what's better than wanting that thing? Is not wanting that thing.
Well, that's Buddhism, isn't it?
Yes. But, I mean, look, very expensive sandals.
How much are those sandals?
Really expensive. I'm not going to say on here.
You know what's funny? You when we met in Barcelona, right? And I was nervous because I'm a bit like you. I sit at home. I like to be at home. I never go out the house. I'm just, and I guess a lot of people, more people than we think, must have a bit of that. But we were going up, it was this sort of space needle above the whole city. And I thought, they're not going to let me in with my trainers, are they? Well, I don't have any shoes though. So I went and got some just cheap shoes from Zara. And then when I met you, you said, are those, I don't even know what the brand is. Is it something Anthony? Mark Anthony? Is that a brand?
I don't know.
You were like, and I was like, these are shitty little Zara. I was, bloody hell.
Here's the thing about Zara though.
Yeah.
They're absolutely killing it.
Well, they must have been good shoes.
Oh, mate, Zara, I just take my hat off to, because, why would you buy anything expensive when you can get something that looks exactly like it for a fifth of the price at Zara? Congratulations, Zara. But what I'm saying is, like, I want and I need, I want those sandals. I've got this. This is my new clothing company. Hopium, yeah.
We'll put a link to that below in the description.
Please do, yeah.
Get some of
and
that.
then I want, thank you. I want the house. I want the boat. I want the other house.
Is there anything you haven't been able to afford that you'd like?
Yeah. Lots of things. Lots of things. But what I'm saying is, the desire and need for those things is problematic. Is problematic because there's always more, and I'm a more monster. I need, it's unquenchable. Mm-hmm. It's unquenchable. These are the things that I'm just like laying out that I need to look at: jealousy, want and need, and attachment and desire.
The want and need things is very, I mean, they were both universal.
I mean, look at you chasing fucking views.
Yeah.
It's endless. And also I would hazard a guess that if we talked to you 8 years ago, where you are now, you would have been incredibly happy with and couldn't have may have dreamt of being there. I bet you now you want to go here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you get there, you want to go there, and so on and so forth. The trick is, like, I've created a trap for myself, having never grown up. I am 16, eternally 16. I never learned how to be a grown up. I don't have a driving license. I don't know how to change a fuse. I don't know how to, I've never opened an envelope. Everybody does everything for me. So, and they always have done. So I find myself in a position where, touch wood, it won't and it doesn't. This all goes away. I'm fucked. There's so much to learn.
But would you like that? Would you like to have a year where nobody knows who you are and you go and live, not in poverty or something, but just in a cabin in the wood, or just,
No, because I need that I need that fame also on some sick level to feel some kind of hole. There is this hole where I need all of that and some people would level it against me, ego and yeah, it is, but not in that sort of chest out superiority complex looking down your nose at everybody else. It's just chubby, vulnerable 11-year-old that needs all of this to go, hey, I exist and I am something.
People misunderstand that about ego, I think, don't they? They think it's, as you say, sort of an arrogant person going around, wow, I'm better than you. And it's actually someone going like, oh, God, I'm useless.
I'm useless. So where is my place on the planet? Who am I? How am I? I am absolutely nothing and I am worthless. So it's a very strange dichotomy. It's a very strange thing to be married to as a human. The very thing that I find deeply uncomfortable, I also need to exist, both financially and both on a spiritual level.
What does that mean on a spiritual level?
I don't know. I just said words.
I love the radical honesty. That's why it's great talking with you, and that's why I like looking at your Instagram and all those things. Tell me about when we were at your gig and Sean. What did we do to Sean Atwood, the YouTuber? In the huddle.
So there's always a huddle before the gig. The pre-show at my show is amazing. Yeah. We have a disco. You couldn't do it at Bath because it was an unusual setup. But
in Barcelona we did it.
Yeah, and it's fun, right?
You taught me to dance because I don't know how to dance. I'm very self-conscious.
Yeah. It's I'm self-conscious when I dance too. Anyway. Yeah, we have the pre-show and the dancers. And as soon as the dancers walk in and the vibes go, and it's the dancers and it's the band and it's the me and it's management and crew, and then it's whoever's there. And we have a dance, we have a disco, and constantly trying to figure out the right song for the right energy, for the right vibe. And then we all get together and we have this group huddle before going on. And I've started this thing where I ask a question and we go round. And, it's a one-word answer. But a lot of the time, I will surprise my guest by saying, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special visitor. And they never know it's them. And I said, tonight's a very, very big gig. And we need the perfect words of encouragement to facilitate the energy that we need to go out there and give this 50,000 people, 60,000 people what they need. I'd like to hand it over to, and then you put somebody on the spot and watch them squirm. And that night I put Sean Atwood on the spot.
Because you'd done it to me and I said, can we do it to Sean this time?
Yeah.
It's petrifying.
Yeah.
Because everyone copies what you say. Yes. You don't realize what's happening.
Yeah.
So I went, and everyone around, all these people. I'm already nervous because it's like, why am I in the huddle for the Robbie Williams concert? I'm in this little huddle. And everyone goes down and I go, oh. And they all went, oh. I went, oh, I see. And they all went, oh, I see. It felt like a right prong. And then I was like, we're going to have the best gig ever. And everyone goes, go. But Sean just said, because Sean, he's been on my show, and Sean was a former drug dealer. He spent 5 years in an Arizona prison with cockroaches all over his face. He's been in, kinds of things that most of us can never even imagine. And I've never seen him flapped. I've known him for years. I go and see him once a week. He's unflappable. And he
made no sense.
He said Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
And no one knew what he said. It went bad. But I've spoken to him recently. He said he admits now. Even yesterday, I spoke to him. He said I've never felt that. Flapped.
Oh, well, bless. If I think about it, it's quite bullying. But it's the most loving thing, and I hope that at the end of that thing, whoever is subjected to it feels
part of it,
and kind of special because it happened. And
he loved it. Well,
it also breaks the ice for us. It's like we were about to go and do 2 hours of subjecting ourselves to incredible amounts of energy. And in that moment, it sort of breaks the circuit for us that we're like, yay, okay, let's go do this.
That's right. It was brilliant. You came, and also that Barcelona show beforehand, you showed me, this was years ago, the early versions, I think, of the tracks that are coming out now. What was it that made you go back to that sort of Britpop? It's not all Britpop, because I only know sort of 4 or 5 that are out now on Spotify. Brilliant songs.
Thank you.
Tell me a bit about that creative process.
Well, the creative process for me is thus. I wandered through the first 5 or 6 albums like a pool player going to the table that could never miss.
Yeah.
And just clearing up. I didn't have to think about anything. It was just like next. And then in 2006, I released an album called Rude Box. And that is I suppose, the album that 14-year-old me would have wanted to make and have been incredibly proud of. But it was also the time where it was my kicking period, where it was like, okay, we've done this, now it's time to decapitate this person. And they did, because I gave them opportunity with a daft song that I knew was daft. I wasn't sort of going, I'm a rapper now. I was just going, way, it's like I'm Freddie Starr and I'm rhyming shit, and that was the energy. But I think people took it that, or wanted to take it that I thought I was grime or something in that moment. I knew what that was. It was just fun. And that was like sort of when the record sort of like skipped and went, right. For me anyway, as somebody with deep anxiety. And then after that, I had to think about everything I'd done. Oh, I don't want to do that though. I want to do this. This was taking me to this place. But you're telling me that this is what? Oh God. And then there's sort of like diminishing returns. You can only go this far on the roller coaster before you've got to do the loop-de-loop, and then, so I've just sort of overcomplicated everything musically for the longest time. And I guess that, there was no anxiety when I was writing those first 5 or 6 albums. And then I guess that with this album, I've just gone, let's just go back to the start. It's 1995. I've just left Take That. What is the album that I would make now knowing what I know? That's what I've done with this album. And it's very freeing and liberating, because I've stopped chasing the hit per se. That being said, I do see these actors talk about films, and it's like 2 for them, 1 for me. Have you seen them talk about this?
No.
Where actors go, yeah, I do 2 for the studios, 1 for myself.
I've heard people say that about YouTube.
Oh, okay, really?
It's 2 for the audience, like they're going to want one about culture wars, say, and then 1 that's just for me, maybe some sort of psychologist that comes on and some interesting thing.
Well, there you go. And now I'm like that. It's like I do have a project that's coming up.
Okay.
And it's something that I will enjoy, but it's supposed to be all-encompassing, omnipresent stuff. Okay. But as for now, I'm jumping from this into another project, which is solely for me. And that's exciting me.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Spies is a really nice song.
Thank you.
That's one where I felt like I'm in the first 2 albums right now, Spies.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
That was great. Where people, it's a question I always ask, where can they find you? They find it on Spotify and stuff, right? Is that the best place for you want people listening?
I guess so. I don't understand it. I understand none of it. I'm still deeply entrenched in the 90s.
But you listen on Spotify. What do you listen to? Do you ever listen to your own stuff? Do you listen to your own songs?
I did last night with Carl, my drummer and musical director, but I listened to all the stuff that we've written together.
Okay.
And we had sort of, pump the air moment going, yeah, we did good there, didn't we?
Of the new stuff, isn't
no,
it?
No,
the old stuff.
This is old stuff.
I've said to you, I think your most underrated song is, Love Somebody.
Oh, okay.
on Escapology
Yeah.
because it's got what I like. It's got that satanic feel. I really like that in music.
Silence in the rain. It was like
It'll come in your sweet time, Lord.
to try to let you in. I'm leading the blind, Lord, even underneath your skin.
Do you know what I mean with the satanic? I'm imagining fire in the background.
Love and only love will set you free. Yeah, there is a. It is very, very grand, I suppose.
I love that.
Oh well, great, thank you.
I listen to a lot, and it also no regrets. And maybe because I like the fiery satanic thing at the end. You know,
Yeah, the darkness, the anger, the aggression, the seeking of justice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Dead.
Yeah, it's like I wonder if what is that darkness, like satanic is. I suppose there's a darkness there, yeah. But I was with Love Somebody. I was just aching to be in a relationship because I'd been told by songs and magazines and films that it's the best thing that you could ever feel and it's your purpose on the planet. And without it, you are going to be forever derelict of heart.
Love and only love will set you free.
Love and only love will set you free. Yeah, you're going to be derelict of heart. And but also not being capable to be in a relationship at the time because I was a broken individual. So that's what Love Somebody was about.
Who's a heretic you admire?
Okay, so Ian Jury.
Okay.
And Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer.
What about them?
Well, both of them aren't of anything. They broke the mold when it comes to or came to be how to be as performers. Nothing like them had existed before or after. And lyrically, Ian Jury, how he sang, how he spoke, how he presented himself, what he sang about, the poetry of the everyday. And coming from a place of deep physical pain because of the cards that had been given, made him incredibly important and one of the best lyricists of all time. And then with Vic and Bob, seeing The Big Night Out for the first time was, I suppose, like seeing the Sex Pistols at the 100 Club or something. Just like that brand of comedy had never been seen before. And also, it was the first time I'd seen some comedy that was like watching your favorite band for the first time and realizing that this is who you are. I don't know if I've been eloquent enough to explain why they're both heretics, but
I think so. Certainly so. Yeah. And they're beautiful ones, and they're not ones I don't think we've had them yet, which I always love when there's new ones. That's perfect. People, please go and get Robbie's album on Spotify, all his albums. Check out Love Somebody. I know that's, it's not a new one. That's on Escapology. It's one of my favorite ever songs. It's just such a beautiful, they're all beautiful songs, aren't they? But it's a beautiful song. And we'll have links and things below to Hopium as well. Brilliant clothing range. Please go follow that. Hit the like and keep watching this channel wherever the thing is.